So today I'm going to go over the concept of the drum bus. So whenever you're making your beats, you're going to have a bunch of different parts to it. You're going to have the 808, the kick, snare, the hi-hat, the open hat, and then additionally you're going to have your melodies, obviously. So what I've drawn here is basically in any sort of DAW, you're going to have this basic layout for your mixers, right? So each one is routed to, each mixer track is routed to a different element of your song. And as you can see, the 808 kick, snare, hi-hat, open hat, so all the elements of your drums are being routed to the master right now. They're just directly going to the master. So if you wanted to put like an equalizer on your 808, or if you wanted to be an equalizer on all of your drums at once, you'd have to go through individually and put an equalizer on each mixer track. The solution to that, one of the solutions and one of the benefits of having a drum bus, which I have here that's open, is you can route, instead of routing all of these directly to the mixer track individually, you can get rid of that. Instead, route each one individually to the drum bus. And then the drum bus is routed to the master. You see? What that does, it lets you, number one, the most basic thing, that what is a mixer track for? To control the volumes of each track. You can control the volume of all your drums through this one track. You don't have to individually go up and down. So if you think your drums are all hitting too hard and the melody is kind of falling behind, use this to just decrease the volume overall. Secondly, as I said before, if you want to EQ everything, if you think there's something too high or there's some range that you don't like in all of your drums, overall, you can do that now by putting an EQ on this track. So essentially what a drum bus does, what the concept is it's a place where I can manipulate and change all my drums at once instead of having to affect each one individually. Why is this useful? Again, EQing, if I want to put, say, reverb on this track, if I want to put compression, this is very important. I'll be going over in a different video. In depth. Compression is so important with your drums and your beats. If you want to put compression overall on all of your drums as a singular drum, what you can do is almost turn all your drums into so your DAW treats all the drums as one instrument, almost as just drums, instead of treating it individually as 808 kick, snare, hi-hat, open hat. So you can put compression across the board on all of these instruments at once using a drum bus. So basic concept, the overall idea of it, route all of your drums to one mixer track and then route that track to the master. If you don't route it to the master, nothing's going to play. Because what does the master track do? The master track controls all of the audio. If you don't reroute your drum bus to your mixer track, nothing's going to play. You're not going to hear anything. And you're going to be like, oh, where did my drums go? Why can't I hear anything? Because you didn't route it back to the master track. As a default, unless when you don't have a drum bus, each sound is being routed individually to the master. So when you're routing it all to this track, make sure this track is routed to the master. So yeah, basic concepts of a drum bus, why it's helpful, why it's useful. You can route all your sounds to this bus instead of having to affect each one individually, which you can still do. You can still put effects on each one individually and it'll affect only that part. But why it's helpful for effects such as EQ, reverb, and compression, mainly compression, it helps so much with gluing all your drums together to make them sound like one instrument and one layer of your song, instead of having to work with each one individually. And it helps make the beat more cohesive and make it more enjoyable to listen to. If you want more tips like this, go to the first link in the description for my Bedroom to Billboard Academy, where I'm going to be going in depth on all sorts of concepts like this and teaching you guys how to make industry level beats that artists will actually want to work with.